Joining me now, Nigel Farage, former UK Independence Party leader and a Fox News contributor. Nigel, good evening. Good to see you tonight. Evening. What did you make of President Trump's remarks about Iran and Rouhani's response?
Well, firstly, Rouhani's response. I mean, it's a bit rich for the world's first Islamic extremist regime that's now been in place for 40 years to accuse others of racism, extremism and Nazism, which frankly in many ways is all that they've encompassed over these decades. I mean, this is, I think without doubt, the most dangerous, unpleasant regime in the world. And Trump, and clearly John Bolton being there now is a very important influence, but Trump is calling out Iran. He's saying, look, you guys are sponsoring terrorism, you're spreading it, across your borders. The deal that Obama struck with you did not work. Far from taming you, it made you worse. And I have to say, it's very interesting, but of all that was said today at the UN by Trump, Iran was the most interesting thing because today, of all days, the European Union's foreign minister, Mrs. Mogherini, who, by the way, is unelected, but never mind, and she said today the EU is facilitating easier trade with Iran. So you have Trump on collision course with the European Union over whether Iran are the good guys or the bad guys.
And, clearly this is all over the Iran deal and Trump's decision to pull out of the Iran deal and the EU's pushback to that. President Trump clearly called for the allies to rally together. Is there anything that will change that in terms of the perspective from the UK or the rest of Europe?
Well, as far as the EU is concerned, no. They are committed to the Obama idea that we should treat Iran as our friends and that we should embrace them economically. The Trump-Bolton idea is these guys were given a chance with the Iran nuclear deal. They abused it. They became even more terroristic. They spread their bad message all over that region. So, no, those two positions are uncompromising. From a British point of view, very interesting. Brexit, which will make us independent, ultimately, the UK will have to decide, are we with America or with the EU? Yeah,
that's going to be a big moment in our relationship, to be sure. Bret Baier sat down earlier this evening at the UN with the president of South Korea, President Moon, and he said something very interesting about the future of the nuclear program in North Korea. Let's play that.
Chairman Kim actually wants to achieve the complete denuclearization of North Korea with President Trump within his first term in office. So in order to make progress, he wants to have the second US-North Korea summit as soon as possible.
That's a very strong claim. He says that Kim wants to have a denuclearization of North Korea within the first term of President Trump. Do you believe that?
Whether I believe it or not, the most important thing is world leaders who are set enemies sitting down, talking together is a good thing. Winston Churchill used to say, George Orr is better than war. And I would welcome a second meeting between Trump and the North Koreans. I tell you what, no bad can come of it.
Obviously the world body, the UN, is a controversial place. The president said something today that got a chuckle from the crowd. And I want to get your reaction to this. Let's play that moment.
In less than 2 years, my administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
What did you think of that moment, Nigel?
Well, look, that was Donald Trump being Donald Trump. Donald Trump will never, ever undersell his achievements.
No.
He did it in front of a very, very sceptical UN audience. They laughed. Whether it was with him or against him didn't matter. It was the lightest moment of that speech because he went on from there to attack much of what the UN stands for. And for me, I've got to tell you, Mother, I mean, I've spent 25 years fighting for national sovereignty against global bureaucracy. And to me, that speech today was an absolute joy. And in decades to come, when people ask, what was Trump's philosophy? What did he stand for? Do you know what? All of it you heard today in that speech.
Fascinating. Nigel, thank you very much. Great to see you tonight.
Thank you.